I'm recording, but I don't know where this is recording to. About. There we go. Let's see if that picks that up. I don't know what that flashing light is. But anyhow, Expo, love your dry erase markers. So, according to Hasbro, there we go. We've got the classics. G.I. Joe, Micronauts, Visionaries, M.A.S.K. I'm going to do M.A.S.K in orange. I'm going to do M.A.S.K in orange just because they're cooler. We got M.A.S.K and we've got ROM. I like the G.I. Joe universe, but we've got G.I. Joe, we've got Micronauts, which, let's just face it, nobody knows who they are. Micronauts, Visionaries, and ROM. Now, my goal is to do this. We take G.I. Joe and we put him in with, my chair is squeaky right now, but we put him in with Transformers, and I have to switch chairs. How exactly do we put G.I. Joe and Transformers in the same place? Now, if you remember, imdb.com, Transformers, not the movie in 1986, which was my favorite. So if you take a look at Josh Duhamel and as Major Lennox and Tyrese Gibson as U.S. Air Force Master Sergeant Epps. Those are going to be the two main guys that we focus on as the G.I. Joe crossover. Now what we just say is we just say they're G.I. Joe guys, because how difficult would that be? So we're going to do this. I'm just going to erase these guys all together. ROM, I'm just going to take them out of the equation. We're going to take Visionaries out of the equation, and we're going to take Micronauts just out of the equation. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bridge G.I. Joe to M.A.S.K, okay, to Transformers. So we can actually have this big battle at the end, G.I. Joe versus Transformers. But how do you do it? Well, you begin by actually going to the beginning. So you got to take the Transformers and you got to go like this. And you put Transformers up here. And you start off in a world where in a world where Transformers and G.I. Joe come together. G.I. Joe, the greatest American hero. So we take a look at Josh Duhamel, and we got Tyrese. Everybody loves Tyrese, by the way. U.S. Air Force. Josh and Tyrese's characters are actually going to be the guys that bond the G.I. Joe universe, because G.I. Joe is such a special operations group. They do such specialized things that the Transformers don't really even have to do anything with it. Even if you take a look at some of the things that G.I. Joe has done, like when Firefly breaks out Cobra Commander and he's riding his bike and the bike actually explodes and kind of attacks the building, that's kind of a Transformer-y thing to do. They take G.I. Joe, and Josh and Tyrese are those G.I. Joe characters, and we put them into a special mission. Like I said, everybody loves Tyrese. Josh and Tyrese, and we make them actual G.I. Joe characters. So, Josh and Tyrese are part of G.I. Joe. Okay, now the way that we lead up to the actual movie itself is the Decepticons trick Autobots to leave planet and help. Doesn't really matter who they're going to help. Their grandmother. They're going to help Granny. Granny needs help. Anyhow, so then what happens is the Decepticons take over the world. Alright, the Decepticons take over the world. Now, what we've got, that's the major part. So, G.I. Joe has to get rid of the Decepticons on their own, because the Autobots are gone. Autobots leave, see you later, because they think Decepticons are destroyed. Now, so then all you have is the Decepticons, and G.I. Joe going head to head. Everybody's getting creamed. You've got everybody's this, that, and the other thing. But now you've got to create some way to actually have humans must defend against giant robots. This will be huge in China. The reason that Transformers the movie actually exists is because the Transformers, giant robots blowing things up. Ah, Michael Bay! Oh no, Michael Bay! The reason the Transformers exist is because giant robots are huge in China. Done. Gotcha. So, how do the humans basically take back their planet? Okay, now, how do humans take back planet? So you go Transformers to G.I. Joe through Josh Duhamel and Tyrese's characters. Then they need a special unit to fight the Transformers. And that's where M.A.S.K comes in. M.A.S.K is a special unit of G.I. Joe. Okay, M.A.S.K must fight to save G.I. Joe. Now, what happens is, this is a big kind of a M.A.S.K-y battle. And how do you link these two basically together? Well, if you remember, Miles Mayhem was the leader of Venom. Mayhem once was on the same side as Matt Tracker until he double-crossed Matt and stole half of the masks. Anyhow, he looks like a general. So there's Miles Mayhem. Decepticon sympathizer. I think that's how you... Anyhow, Miles Mayhem likes the Decepticons. So M.A.S.K must fight to save Josh and Tyrese. But what happens is T-Bob is captured. But if you remember T-Bob was a small scooter. T-Bob was the little boy's friend. Now, he's a pretty dumb robot. He runs around and he's always getting into trouble with the little kid. So it's easy to see that he gets captured. But when M.A.S.K gets back to base at the end, they discover T-Bob is actually a secret project. So T-Bob is valuable. That's the end of the first movie.